members of our Congress, you will always have, within our government, those that are above the law. Hey, it's me. And as you know, I didn't really make any videos trying to claim the Trump rule. I just have a couple of memes about it, and I mention it. But it's not a big deal. Somebody else can take the credit. Because in essence, it's better that nobody really knows about the Trump rule. Because when I look around, it turns out after 3 years now, all these people in the media on the left and the right, they still underestimate Donald Trump. They still don't understand what kind of a person he is. And they still see him as a dummy. You know, when you look at people like Mancoult or Bourbon Bannon, or people on the left, they look at Donald Trump and they feel they're smarter than he is. Because they really buy into the left-wing narrative that this is a dumb man. He's very impulsive, emotional. He's brash. And he speaks without thinking, or he's not thinking. And how stupid are these people to underestimate this genius. And so the Trump rule is never underestimate Donald Trump. Now, even loyal supporters obviously don't get Trump, and they're wondering, why is he doing that? And I always tell these people, don't forget the Trump rule. Even if you don't get it, you don't need somebody to always explain it to you. Just consider the Trump rule and relax. This guy has everything under control. And often he's all by himself. You know, it's very sad if you're President Trump. Number one, you can't trust anyone. Everyone around you at some point will try to backstab you. And that's the life when you're on top. But at the same time, Donald Trump has it worse than anyone because he has all these establishment people out to get him. But you have traitors within. You have traitors in the right media. You have so many people that want to take him down every single day. And the pressure and stress is enormous. But if you're a genius and you can see all of this coming and you're thinking in terms of 5D and you're working on everything and, you know, you're someone who only needs 4 hours of sleep, then you can get ahead of it. Meaning, whatever comes, President Trump was already expecting it. And he's already on the way to doing a response to it. And so everything we're finding out, President Trump already knows some of these things from many months ago, even a year ago. And so he's so far ahead that these people are actually catching up when they're assuming that they're doing a gotcha. But they're catching up to the mind of Donald Trump. But just think of it. Every day you meet people and, you know, you cannot trust them. It's a bad feeling. You know, you need people that you can trust. So Ivanka's there, Jared's there. He has some good people around him, don't get me wrong. But in essence, he's always alone. But at the same time, he's kind of a superior human being. Let's be honest. The guy's 72. He's, you know, working like he's 35 years old, in his prime. He hardly needs any sleep, and he can handle so much pressure and stress that most of us would buckle and start crying. I mean, wow, it's a big deal. So for President Trump, when he meets people, he can see their weaknesses, and he must go around thinking that people are so weak. You know, I also have that sometimes, and so I catch myself being intolerant sometimes, and I don't like it. I'm an easygoing, tolerant person, but, you know, sometimes it just happens. But Donald Trump is 72 years old. He has decades of experience, and I'm just 29 plus 1 years old. And so maybe I'm still immature, I don't know, but even President Trump becomes very intolerant. Somebody betrays you, somebody is displaying extreme incompetence, that really bothers President Trump, or somebody that, looks and smells like Bourbon Bannon. Now, the thing is, with Bourbon Bannon, Trump really wanted him to be in the campaign so that he would get positive coverage on Breitbart. That's all it was for the last months of the campaign, in a critical phase. So he got Bourbon Bannon to be in the campaign, and he promised him some kind of a job in the West Wing. So of course Bourbon Bannon, like the idiot he is, didn't even realize that he was just being used for that. And there was positive coverage the whole time. And then in the West Wing, President Trump is stuck with this fat slob graveyard grill, and he smells. He has all kinds of pimples and blisters on his face and fungus in his hair, and he's oogling Ivanka's cleavage the whole day. I mean, disgusting. Plus, he was leaking to Mike Cernovich and Spandex Bones and Joe Scar at MSNBC. And so, okay, you just put up with the guy a little bit and then just kick him out. But President Trump likes people to look good and to dress nice, to look presentable, and he wants people to work hard to get results. And a lot of people don't like it, especially in government. They're like, what's wrong with this guy? We have to work and everything. Well, yeah, that's the idea, and that's why you're getting paid. But in government, I guess it's not just our nation. I think it's like that. Government workers in any country all over the world, and I can guess it's even worse like in Zimbabwe or in You Are Gay. Yeah, it's a country. You Are Gay. You Are Gay. Government workers in You Are Gay. Now imagine that. Gay government workers in You Are Gay. Hilarious. Or if you're from that country and you arrive at the airport in Detroit, and then there's this guy called Tyrone, customs officer, and he's saying, where are you from? And Pablo says, you are gay. And Tyrone goes, boom. Anyway, so President Trump is tolerant and patient, incredibly patient. But if you're working for the guy, you best look good and work hard. End of story. But the patience this guy has, when you see all the shenanigans, even to hold back, I mean, he has so much on Choco and the Hunchback of Chappaqua and a lot of these people, but he's holding back. And that's the thing about President Trump. He wants to slide in. He wants to make people work for him instead of working against him. It takes time. You're talking about somebody coming in there after decades and decades of the dark ages. So a lot of people have to adapt. So I've said this before, but I compare it to real estate. When you have a guy from Queens, and it was an okay company, but you're talking about some company doing apartment buildings or whatnot in Queens, and this young guy, Donald J. Trump, moves to Manhattan, wants to make it there in real estate. But you have a whole establishment there with connections to the government and even the mob, and you want to come in there and be a player. I mean, that is so hard. And people will sabotage you all the time. Suddenly your cement trucks are not coming, or you don't get a permit. And what happened? But not with Donald J. Trump. So he quickly understands the environment, who's who, and who's the real player, and who's like a numbnuts, who are the key people, and he made it. He really did make it. And then he went bankrupt almost, and he made an amazing comeback. And he came back bigger and better than ever before. Now that's amazing. Now you fast forward, he comes in, again he's the odd man out. All these establishment people are like, who is this guy? We don't want this guy here. Yet he's there to stay. And so he looks at Congress, he sees Chairman Nunes and Uguay, and he knows who the key players are and who are the thorns in the side of this majestic lion, Donald the Great. And so he has a lot of stuff on a lot of people, but it doesn't mean that he's going to start executing people or arresting people, because he could have done that in Manhattan. He could have, fought with every single person that tried to sabotage him, and he wouldn't have made it. And at the same time, you have to understand that after President Trump leaves office, which is January 2025, by the way, you're going to have Ivanka and Jared, and you're going to have the Trump organization, and liberals, they're vindictive, and they will go after the family and Ivanka. And so President Trump wants to solve the problem without caving, but he wants to solve the problem as he did in Manhattan decades ago, to be there and people accept him. And so I guess you can imagine or compare it to like having 6 or 7 chicken eggs, and the hen is there, and the eggs are cracking, and little cute, it's like the ugly duckling story, I guess, but with a twist, a Trump twist. And you have all these yellow little chicks coming out going wee wee or ee ee, whatever sound they make, right? I can't really do it. And there's this one egg that breaks open, and this weird looking chick comes out, and it's different from the others, and it's not accepted, and the others are trying to fight with it, and they grow up, and suddenly you realize that that one different chick came from a different egg. It wasn't a chicken egg. It was the egg of a bald eagle. And the chick grows up and becomes an eagle. And a year later, we have this giant bald eagle with little chickens around him. Now, look who's boss, right? And that's what I see with Donald Trump in Manhattan. And that's what I see with Donald Trump in D.C. And it's been less than 2 years, and you can see how everything is changing, and these people are getting more and more angry, more and more desperate. They really don't want this guy to be reelected, because imagine 2 more years and then 4 more years, these people are gonna die. And there is kind of anticipation that people had when Donald Trump was elected, and there was a lot of fear. Choco, right away he went overseas. He didn't know what to expect. Would he be arrested? He didn't even know. And he didn't want to be there when the deep state attacks Trump, because he knew there was something brewing and he was involved in it. And so he goes overseas to have deniability. I didn't know anything about it. I saw it on TV just like everybody else. And you had Chris Steele of the Trump dossier suddenly going undercover. He disappeared. And he probably thought, Navy SEALs were going to come to his home and take him away to Gitmo. So he disappeared. And you had a lot of people that thought they were about to be arrested, and it's like we missed a chance. It really seems like we missed a chance. But that is if you underestimate Donald Trump. Because he could have done many things right off the bat. He could have picked other people for his cabinet. Instead, he went with people that, would make the establishment feel better and safer, and keeping some of the plants, the spies, pretending he didn't know. But that was never his dream team. So now you're slowly starting to see that he's putting together his dream team. But the establishment, they felt safe. Hillary suddenly felt safe, and noticed she also went overseas with her crappy book. And, and then people started to calm down. Because you have Mueller and you have this and that. But that's not the reason why they should feel safe. It's because President Trump's not doing anything. Like I said, he will slide in there. And if he did attack all these people, or arrest people, or fire Mueller right away, or fire Rosenstein and Steiner and Jeff Sessions off the bat, maybe he would have been impeached by now. We just don't know. And all the advice that people are always giving him, like declassify now, it would be nice, but at the same time, if he does it, it's on him. People will find some reason. Some of these people were waiting last year to see Trump fire Mueller or Rosenstein and Steiner and then pounce on it. But he didn't give them that ammo, and he's not that dumb. Now, if he listens to all of this advice, then he would have been gone a long time ago. Because who are we to give advice to a genius? So he'll take it under advisement. Of course, he knows he can do this, he can do that. I mean, he has a lot of power. People just don't understand that he has a lot of power right now, and he has a lot on these people. He can take them down right now. But if he doesn't, then they have an excuse to attack him for reals. And so Mueller, he's been poking around. He's been hurting innocent people, but has he hurt Trump? No. It's just like an ankle-biting little chihuahua, right? With testicle cancer and a scrotum head. Bob Mueller, the incompetent buffoon. President Trump knows that Mueller isn't all that. People around him said it. Giuliani always tells Trump, Bob is an idiot. And it's true. You can tell. But at the same time, even an idiot with the power of the DOJ and a team and lots of lawyers, he can do a lot of damage. But still, what did Bob Mueller end up doing? Hurting innocents and exposing himself as being a Democrat and a stooge trying to take down the president. And he's committing treason, in my opinion. And he's involved in subversive activities, and he's more like a criminal than a special counsel or a former FBI director, in my opinion. But President Trump is not afraid of Mueller, so it's kind of hilarious last year and this year to see these media headlines. Trump is furious. Trump is shaking. Trump is nervous. Trump is sweating bullets. No, he's not. And so they always assume that Trump is some kind of a buffoon. Then why did he win the election? Why did he even get the GOP nomination? Why is he still president? Why did he build an amazing economy? And why is he always ahead of all of these idiots that claim to be so intelligent? It's because he's not dumb, and they're really underestimating him. You know, it's funny on Twitter when he does a typo on purpose. He does that because liberals are so arrogant and so stupid that they assume that Trump is an idiot. He can't even spell. The guy can't even spell. So they're tweeting about the typo and they're retweeting what Trump wrote and laughing But what they don't realize is that they just doubled the amount of tweets and likes for what he wanted to get out there, because Trump has a philosophy that all publicity is good publicity. So even though liberals are spreading the message is being spread all over the place. So a tweet that would get 60 likes suddenly has 120 likes or more, and all those retweets. And so he does it all the time now. A typo here, a typo there, and in the last one, he even repeated the same typo twice in a tweet. And the word was shocking, and before the K, he wrote a C. Shocking, with a CK. And of course, the tweet, was amplified and multiplied so many times because liberals said, God, this guy cannot even spell the word shocking. And what is really shocking is that these people are so idiotic and so easily trolled. And Trump has many skills. I think timing is like one of his great skills. Understanding people and their weaknesses or strengths. And of course, making people feel like he's not that bright maybe. Because it really helps him every time he's underestimated. So even when he's saying that he's very smart, he will say something like, I have brain, or I studied in like the best schools. And liberals go, listen to the guy, he's such an idiot. And they don't understand that they're being had all the time. And after all these years, I would think some liberals would wake up, but they don't, and it's because they're too arrogant. Liberals are so arrogant, and arrogance eats away your brain cells. You can't think anymore. The arrogance takes over, and it's not just that. Liberals aren't very bright to begin with, and so they're being had all the time. And so when he's negotiating something, or why he said this or that, or he didn't say this and that, don't worry about it. People always comment about what he's doing, trying to pretend they understand what the hell he's doing, but they don't. And so some of them have an agenda. Maybe they want to make it seem Trump is not keeping promises, or Trump is betraying the Trump base, or Trump is an idiot, or Trump is colluding with someone. And it's so pathetic. I look at the media, the headlines now, and it's all retardation. I'm very happy that more than a year ago I just quit watching all that crap, even Fox News. Like Judge Knapp, I saw the treachery even more than a year ago, and he's not the only one. And I see it very clearly in a lot of people. A lot of people with TTS, a lot of people have been bribed, and a lot of people are just scumbags. And that leads me to another point I wanted to make in this video, and that is, when you have people that are trying to pander to the left by slamming Trump, even though they're right media, or they're people that were supporters of Trump, they falsely believe that liberals will accept them and give them immunity or some kind of a pass, but it's a trick. Liberals will act like you're their new friend, but then when they have a chance, they will F you up. And you saw that with John McCain, right? For decades, he was sitting with Ted Kennedy and making friends on the left, crossing the aisle, being a maverick, and then he ran for president, and they all hated him with a passion. And he was like, what happened? And so you have that with Michael Cohen. He's there with a Clinton lawyer and suddenly denouncing Republicans and Trump, and he's a Democrat, he supports the Democrats, and it's like a confessional like they had in Nazi Germany or in the Soviet Union, a confessional. And they have it even now in North Korea. Well, liberals make some of those people do confessionals. Like, Democrats are awesome and Republicans are evil. But then they still F the person up. Like Michael Cohen, suddenly his Clinton lawyer made a mistake. Suddenly he has to go to jail for 3 years. What happened, Michael? And that is, if you give an inch to the left, then they will not only take a mile, they will kill you. And so you have to be careful making deals with the left. And you see that with Michael Flynn also. And Spandex Bones of the Nympho Whores, how can I forget? It's another great example. So there he was, right? Really trying to pander to the left, to sell more vitamins and, to be promoted by YouTube and all of that. And he starts slamming Trump and Javanka, for more than a year. And then, in case you forgot, Spandex Bones of the Nympho Whores said this.
Donald Trump shit his fucking pants at the fucking moment of truth and shit all over everybody. That's my first approximation. I'm not in a fucking cult for Donald Trump. Fuck him. Fuck his family.
Relax, vitamin Smurf. Even his family. Behave yourself. And so yeah, it looks like it's a guy on meth or PCP or something. But he was trying to pander to the left. And Facebook and the Google CEO, Mr. Tandoori. Sorry, it's not Mr. Tandoori. It's Mr. Vindaloo. Very hot and spicy. Never eat that stuff, man. It'll burn you. So anyway, he was pandering to the left, and that's what a lot of these people do. Mancoulter and all of the others. And it's because of traffic and the socials. And, Glenn Beck was sucking up to Mark Zuckerberg, saying, I looked into his eyes, and it's like he was attracted to the guy in a gay way. So disgusting. All of that just to get more traffic. So here you have Spandex Bones insulting Trump and his family, by the way. And of course everybody that supports Trump. And so it's a mystery why people still watch this fat greaseball. But okay, he's pandering to the left. But then what happens? First of all, Trump forgets all about Nympho Whores and this disgusting Smurf. I mean, he's like out of the picture because you're insulting his favorite offspring, Ivanka, and his whole family. I mean, that's unforgivable for Trump. Okay, so that happens. 3 weeks later, the guy is, kicked off of Apple, and President Trump probably told Tim Cook, hey, if you get rid of that guy, I won't mind. I mean, the guy's always attacking my daughter. F him. And F Spandex Bones and his family. So there you go, right? That's Trump. The bald eagle, the giant lion, against a little Smurf. But I'm not saying he told Tim Cook that, but it could have happened. Because that was really the sign that Facebook got and the others to get rid of Spandex Bones and Nympho Whores. Now on YouTube they didn't just delete him, he broke the live stream rule. So it's almost like he wanted to get kicked off of YouTube, because there is a rule: if you're banned from live streaming for 30 days because of a second strike, if you then advertise, hey, I'm live streaming on another site, go look now, it's like a way to circumvent the penalty for breaking the rules. So it really says in the TOS, if you do it, your account will be deleted. I mean, it's there in big letters. So he did it on purpose, or he was just too arrogant, I don't know. But regardless, even sometimes you break a rule, YouTube can look the other way, as they have for so many years for Nympho Whores. Because the stuff he got away with, if I did it, I would have been deleted right away. But, he did pay Google a lot of money to get traffic. and to sell his vitamins, right? But anyway, so what I'm saying is that he's pandering to the left, insulting Trump and his family, to wink at the left, and instead of embracing him and giving him a break, they kill him. And it's another case in point where if you're making a deal with the left, you're making a deal with the devil. And any contract you sign is worthless. Any promise that is made is empty. And so coming back to Donald the Great, of course he knows how liberals operate. He's known it for decades. He was there in New York, in the middle of liberal Manhattan, right? And dealing with all of these people. And so he knows if he gives them an inch, they will take a mile and then kill him. So whenever you see Trump giving in, he's not giving in. He's doing something that helps him in the greater scheme. And so don't underestimate Donald Trump ever, because he knows exactly how these liberals think, how people in the media think on the left and the right. He can predict spandex bones, even though he's erratic and doing performances. He can still predict the guy. I can predict the guy. And he can predict the behavior of Mancoulter and Michael Wiener and all of these people. And of course all liberals are even more predictable. And if I can see it so clearly, what more, a genius like Donald Trump? And that's why I don't have any worries about a great many things, because President Trump is so far ahead of these people. And even Mueller and all his Clinton Foundation lawyers, they're nobodies compared to Donald the Great. I mean, to defeat Donald Trump, you first have to understand that you're dealing with a genius, and then you have to outplay him in 5D chess. Well, good luck, because you're gonna need it, and you will not win.